What's up, everybody? Sir Spookfest here. So, Friday disclosure. First off, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Happy Mother's Day to my lovely wife Alicia, or fiance, not wife yet. But I've had a full week of fun. My sister and my dad came down. We did a lot of different things. We went to the botanical gardens and the naval ship USS Wisconsin, supposedly a haunted ship. I'm looking at some of these disclosure files for the UFO stuff. Now, me and my sister didn't realize when we did our video that they dropped all the UFO disclosure stuff, but we talked about our first experience with a UFO. Really, a bunch of stories of paranormal stuff we've experienced, and the UFO story, and some of my stuff, and just funny stories. But I will show some of the clips of what they released. It's definitely interesting. I do think that we have better videos out there, that they have real, like, actual footage, not just on FLIR or the LiDAR or, any of that. If you're infrared and if far away, it's hard to tell with some of these, but some of them are pretty interesting looking. And then looking at the alien, they did say they showed one alien. It's a real small one. But these things, with having the experience, it's a little different. I don't know how to actually explain how crazy of an experience our first one was when my sister and friends on the beach. But these things are out there, and it's good. It makes me like kind of confirm that I'm not crazy, and other people that have witnessed this stuff. Some of those cases out there, the Betty and Barney Hill case from the 60s and Travis Walton, all these cases, if that's real, then what about the paranormal? What about Bigfoot? What about all these other things? If little green men are flying around in hypersonic super speed, time travel, people have a bunch of weird theories about some of this, that it's us from the future, it's angelic beings. There's a lot of different conspiracy theories on it, but I am wondering why they're not disclosing some of the more well-known stuff. I'm pretty sure we know about it. There's bases under the ocean. There's one in South Korea that the craft was so large they had to build a building around it and they couldn't move it. There's other ones saying that there's some in Greenland melting out of the ice. These things, I know we have better footage, but I will show some of the footage. And it's just going to be a bunch of the videos. I'm not sure how many, but we'll skip through them and I'll talk a little bit about each one. Now, one thing, after me and my sister did our little interview about the UFOs and paranormal happenings, we went to go pick my son up, and I'm listening to the radio and she's talking to me, and I'm like, usually when you talk about these things, more weird things happen. And all of a sudden, on the radio, the Exorcist theme song started playing, and I turned it up, and my sister's like, what in the world? And I'm like, I've never heard that on the radio. And it was just one of those things that was weird, like a coincidence. No, well, you talk about these things, odd things seem to happen. A lot of coincidences lining up and stuff. So let's get into showing some of these videos. I'll talk a little bit about them. We'll skip through some of the disclosed UFO files and these videos they put out. I do hope we get a lot more clearer footage, and maybe some of the NHI, the non-human intelligence. Maybe they are putting out more pictures and conjecture on whether they're real or not, and what, CGI, AI nowadays. A lot of stuff out there is fake, but I do believe even if one of these videos is real, that shows that we do have UFO and we know about these things. So let's show some of these. Okay, so this says Top Gaming Channel, but these are a bunch of the videos. It is just like a half an hour of all the videos that they released. All that redacted stuff on there is... So there it is right there. Let's turn down the brightness. So right here you could see it. Now some of these people were talking, maybe it's a bird or just a regular drone. And there's hard to tell with like the parallax if the camera's moving or if that's moving. Right now that is moving, but some of these, like this one I believe was the one that said it was going 332 knot or 432 knots, so that's really fast. I don't think that's a bird. And yeah, this is all military footage of these UFOs. They redacted, a bunch of the stuff, probably speed, location, but very interesting. That's like maybe a boogosphere or an orb, and it seems like it has like a little tail on it. And obviously maneuvering in ways we couldn't do. Bottom of the screen here. So that is rather interesting. We'll skip forward to another one. A lot of these are overseas. Still the same one. A lot in like United Arab, Middle East, Iraq. They're all over the place with different areas. Let's go to this one. Oh, that one. Okay, so this one I did want to zoom in on. Let's pause it for a sec. So this one has 3 spikes coming off of the back of it. And I have seen similar clips of much clearer ones, but with this being like FLIR footage or night vision, some of this stuff, and you can see it is moving quick, very quick, and then takes off when the camera stops. So possibility of parallax with this being a drone filming it. So you're moving along, it's moving along. It should come back in a second. Oh, this is another one. This one I will try and pause again too, because this one gets interesting when we get a closer view of it. Now, is that 3 objects? Is that orbs? That's very interesting. And you can go to videos that will tell you what area these are in. You can read the description. It's something we are not sure what it is. Even if it's a man-made object, it's still unidentified objects flying around. It gets even more interesting. There's more that are... That's a pretty cool one, though. And with having experienced UFO more than once myself, it makes it a little more interesting. And experiencing it with other people is more interesting, because then I have people to back me up. And funny to think, when I was a kid watching the Phoenix Lights over Arizona, and I was scared and freaked out about that, and people say that's debunked. I don't think it is. Thousands of people saw that. There was something else seen, triangular shape, flying over that area. I believe that was 1997. But some of these other cases, the Virginia, Brazil, that's an interesting case where one crashed and the non-human intelligence were on the ground and 3 women saw it up close. I think some of these, see, the way that is moving, this camera is stationary, you can tell. The camera's moving now, but this thing is doing 90-degree turns at speeds we just don't have the technology for that. Now you can see like the ocean in the background. This is also in the middle of the ocean, so if it was a drone, I don't know the distance of some drone technology, but you're not going to have connection for your drone to be flying out in the middle of the ocean, so it's not that. Let's zoom in on it a little. Now they locked on. So these systems are good. The problem is it's all filmed in, RI or the FLIR camera or night vision, or, and I'm sure we have clips that are HD video. There's got to be more. This is very tip of the iceberg of what they're disclosing. They're giving out the stuff they don't mind people seeing, and yeah, unidentified, but let's go forward a bit. Yeah, so it looked like they had mapped that out too. And it turned around and went back the other way. Well, let me zoom out. I can't remember if this is the one that goes through the turbines out in the middle of the ocean or not. Now this one is top right. Oh, it didn't. This one's obviously looking up. A lot of these are looking down towards the ocean and stuff, but I'm wondering if they're going to show more that are coming out of the ocean or even under the ocean. Now this one, some people are like balloon or jellyfish UFO. I don't think it's a balloon. The speed it's moving, it kind of is the shape of a jellyfish UFO. We talk about that a lot in the rod UFOs or cigar-shaped UFOs. That one was very fast. One of the ones I've seen Casper Site talking about was actually might be a missile. That one's interesting. Could be a drone, but if it's filmed by the military, oh, this one is interesting. I'll pause it. Now they were talking about this one. You can see the wave, like so I was watching Chris Ramsey, Area 52, and he was like, is that from the gravity field around this thing? You'll see it fluctuating and like waving. And some said it was like a football shaped one, but with some spikes off the back of it there, like it has some tail fins or something. But that's a very interesting one. I'm not sure where this one was, but it's insane that we're getting all this. And the Pentagon releasing it, I mean, it's a little more believable. A lot of people think it's cover up or, distraction. But these things are out there. I've witnessed them myself. And thermal signature. So that one actually might have some actual like propulsion behind it. I do wish that redacted stuff wasn't in the way. But you can tell the camera is pretty steady and that is moving around. We'll skip through a little because there's so many of these. And it's not the best footage. I was hoping for clearer footage, maybe some HD footage. I know they have better footage of all this stuff. And whether you believe in UFOs, aliens or not, this is very interesting. Something going on. I'm wondering, since we're disclosing it like this, are they going to show up more or come down and say hi? Now, they talk about different types of aliens, the grays. I believe they're a type of biological drone. They're a cyborg of sorts, and maybe that could explain how they could travel for, a couple hundred years to be able to get here or whatever it is. Or they do have the technology that is you can warp space and time. I don't know. We'll watch a few more. That's a cool one though. I do want to see the one that goes through the turbines on the over the ocean. It goes through some of the windmill turbines out in the middle of the ocean. It's really cool. That one's pretty faint, but that one is pretty faint. Let's see what go forward. Must be behind the redacted bar there. Okay, so that is it up over here. Oh no. They're just chasing it. That just must be a dead pixel. Okay, there it was for a second right in the middle. So these are all shot off of military craft, maybe drones and stuff like that. And it seems like that one's going fast. I didn't see this one before. Why are they moving that black box for? What's redacted behind that? Still, really cool. So it looks like, yeah, that's just some clouds over there. There's also one that goes past a ship that's on the water. I do hope they show that one. This seems like a whole lot of nothing. Alright, here's one that did look cool. And there it goes up the top, shoots down, and out of shot. And comes back. So now I'm not sure if the camera is moving or if that thing is. That's hard to tell. That's your parallax where you can't tell. But that does seem to be moving in rather weird ways. A lot of stuff redacted on this one. But this must be off of like a fighter jet or something that captured this. There's a couple more that are really interesting. You got a good lock on that right there. Now this is one of the ones that looks like the egg shape maybe, because it's not really spherical, it's more egg shaped UAP. Definitely interesting. So whatever that is, it is moving independently from whatever craft we're filming from. Yeah, and that was a drone in the beginning there. I'll go back a second. Hold on. So I was watching one earlier, and I think it was either Casper Site or Chris Ramsey from Area 52. That's a drone floating, and then that goes past, and the drone takes off, and they're looking at this, and he was like, "Is that Harry Potter's car?" But yeah, that's a really interesting one. Could that be an actual jet? It does look like it has some jet stream behind it or something. And those are jet propulsion behind that, and that's the thermal signature, but I don't know. It does kind of look like car headlights. Just way up in the sky. Oh, brightness. There we go. But if they're saying it's unidentified objects, there's something to it. But you can see there is a trail behind it. That's a pretty interesting one. Just unidentified two orbs. Is it one craft? Is it two? You decide on that one. They filmed this one for a while. Let's go forward. Here's the one with the ship. Let me zoom out a little. Now this isn't the only one with a ship underneath. There's another one where it zooms past, another orb zooms past a boat going straight up. Some of these were going like, I think this is the one that was going like maybe 80 miles an hour, and seemed like it was an intelligent thing, maybe even checking out the ship there. A lot of these I do believe come out of the ocean. I'm not sure about this one. Alright, really faint going through. Do a few more. So I'm wondering if the last few will be the 8-pointed star one. That one's really interesting. If not, I'll just go to a different video. Now this is the one that's a cylindrical one that looks like a cigar shaped, and some might say it's a missile. Yeah, this one happens real quick. I'll try and pause it. Hold on. I'll try and pause it on it. It's so fast. I don't know if I will be able to. Did I capture it? No. Oh. I got it. Now, they're not sure. That might be a missile. You can see a trail behind it, but the cylindrical shape, it doesn't seem to have tail fins, and it does seem to be arching like downward, but that's an interesting one. Very fast. Ah, here's the one that goes past this ship. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Zoom. Whatever that is going really fast. Really jellyfish looking one. There's a few more minutes of this. Let's see if they show the said all the UFO file dumps, so I'm hoping they show the 8-pointed star one. That looks really cool. There it is. So, that is very interesting. And the way it's leaving a trail. And towards the end of this, it even lights up in the middle some. Very odd. But on these kind of cameras, a very bright light might do that type of flaring, but I don't think it would leave a trail like that. Very interesting to me. Having the experiences and then seeing all these file dumps of UFO, non-human intelligence is real, and kind of freaks me out, but also I will be going out looking for these things more. I have caught some things that I can't explain, especially during that drone flap over New Jersey. We caught some of those big ass drones flying over. You could see the shape of them. They weren't typical airplane shapes, like they had extra spikes coming off of them, or like this, some people will say is like an angelic thing. Maybe it's because angels, the spinning wheel with the eyes on it. I've heard different theories on all these, but right there, let's go back a sec. It starts to get more and more lights in the middle. Yeah, that's a very interesting one. This one is the one that has 3 spikes coming off the back. And I've seen that type of UFO before on other videos. Very interesting. All right, well,